Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very, very well today. Well, guys, no press conference today. Well, either that or I've missed it. Maybe because obviously the game on Thursday, there's no time to do something today. But if I missed it, let me know, guys. But anyway, we're here to talk about Gabriel Jesus injury. And it's a bit of a crisis at City, guys. It's a bit of a crisis ahead of the Leicester game. And it's a worry. It's a worry that it's happening so often, you know. And I want to compare a little bit, you know. Okay, looking at other teams, you might not want to compare and contrast with other teams, but I think it's something we need to do. How City are coping with injuries and how other teams, for whatever reason, are not. Is it the way we're training? What's going on? Why are we having so many players that are injured? I can't fathom it, guys. It's certainly a concern. It has to be a concern that we've got so many players out injured on a regular basis. It's always someone out. And honestly, we do need to get to the bottom of it. What is the reason? Now, I'll try and do a stream later on when we do the player ratings for Bournemouth, but I don't think people are massively bothered. But the important stuff is it's been reported today that Gabriel Jesus is out for up to a month. If he's out for a month, that's pretty bad, you know. Obviously, our number one, Sergio Aguero, he's already out. And they said probably for another month or two. That was last week, we were told. So he's still, he's still got at least 3 to 5, 6 weeks before he plays. So that's a concern. And we're left with Liam Delap. Hi, Rissy, how you doing, buddy? Liam, Sam, absolutely. Blue Chan, Wolves did batter Jesus. Robert Robinson, Ruben Diaz. Yeah, we'll talk about him a bit. Hi, Ray. Hi, Blue, says Harry. It's shocking news about Gabby. Liverpool don't seem to get injuries. And that's my point, Yash. That's what I'm going to come up to, around to at some point, Yash Chelani, is the fact that Liverpool don't seem to get the level of injuries that we get. What keyword is up to? Yeah, that's it. But Blue Chan, up to a month. If you're saying up to a month, you're expecting it to be 3 or 4 weeks. You're not expecting it to be 1 or 2 weeks. If it was 1 or 2 weeks, you say 1 or 2 weeks. Surely. Hi, Faris, hope you're well. Yeah, it is a crisis. Look, we had 7 players out before the Wolves game. 7 players out. Okay. And I think Pep said nobody was going to be ready for this weekend. He said it's unlikely, we'll check on Friday. But I think the word on the street was none of those players were going to be ready. It was only Mahrez, obviously Mahrez coming the side. But the 6 players, that were injured or absent, none of them are going to be ready. Now Gabby J, that makes 7. So our strikers are going into this season. Nobody. Liam Delap, a kid who's played 1 Carabao Cup 3rd round game against Bournemouth of the Championship. Exciting though he is, I thought he'd be on the bench for the first few games of the season. I thought, all right, good for the guy. He's going to get some game time. Fantastic, actually, for the kid. He'll be on the bench, and no doubt he will get a few minutes here and there. But the question is, why are we getting so many injuries? Is this anybody you can blame? What's going on? Is it the way we train? It just doesn't seem right, guys. It doesn't seem right at all, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see what you guys are saying. We should buy Lon Cavani or Jovic, says King Company. Diaz or Kunde or KK. I think KK is gone. Rissy, Phil is a decent false 9, but man, is this... You can't play with a false 9 for the next month, Rissy. You can't. Look how many games we've got. We've still got a game this weekend. We have, so look at 5 games in 13 days. Okay, 2. But we've got a game Sunday. We've got a game next week against Burnley away. Then we've got a game the following weekend. We just got too many games. Hi, Hassan Malik. Why do we keep moving from a centre back to a centre back? We'll talk about this. So we'll talk about the injuries first, and then we'll talk about centre back. So Yash says, I don't get it if Pep's training style or the intensity. But the thing is, guys, is the medical staff. Pep's got whoever he wants, so you can't argue about that. Liverpool, they're an intense team as well. You could argue more than City, less than City, or similar to City. They're not getting the same level of injuries as we're getting. Okay, COVID's caused an issue. Yeah, before the last game, we had three guys out for COVID. Fair enough. But we still had 4 injuries. Zinchenko, Cancelo, Garcia. All right, Garcia's back. And Serge. Garcia's fit, I think. But we still... How many players are out? Cancelo's still out. Zinchenko's still out. Aguero's still out. Laporte's out. Gundogan's out. We've got at least 5 players out. So it's absolutely crazy. So what do we do? Do we go out and buy somebody, like people are suggesting? Do we loan somebody? Do you honestly think they're going to rely on Liam Delap? You know, I can see some Liam Delap, some false nines, but if you're playing false nines, everybody knows you're going to play that. But and if I don't know Maxim, I've only read it. To be honest, I was doing an interview with an analyst about Jules Koundé. Okay, so I was doing this interview with this guy. I've been really quite busy today, so I spent well over an hour doing, preparing and doing this interview, and then I come out of the interview and Gabriel Jesus supposedly out for a month, up to a month. So it's Bernardo Silva's out as well. There's so many players out. I just can't keep up. Robert Robertson, that's what I'm saying. Too much injury, absolutely, mate. Blue Chan, I reckon the injuries are due to the high intensity. Diaz Acuna, we'll come to that, Hassan. Let's sign a striker, says Rissi. Do we need a striker, Hassan? Well, look, we can play false nine, but do you want to have false nine as your only option? And your plan B is Liam Delap, a 17-year-old kid, regardless of how much potential he has and how highly regarded he is. It's tough. If the board is going to put his foot down, not overpay for a centre back, then why it didn't for Mendy or Stones? I like them, but in my mind they were overpriced. I agree. Absolutely, LCFC Boyer took a bit of a kick in. Blue Chan, get Cavani on a free transfer. Could do worse. Kunde will be much more suited to our style of play due to his pace. Well, we'll talk about that. So let's finish off on the injuries. So if the situation is, when you look at it, to go into the season with 4 or 5 injuries, okay, a couple of them obviously are coming back. Mahrez has had COVID, he's come back, and the kid Garcia's there, but we don't even want Garcia. It's turning into a floppy end of the transfer window, floppy start to the season. Okay, we've won 2 games, but let's be honest, guys. We are going to create a lot of chances. We've seen that. But Wolves created a lot of chances against City. People might want to easily forget that. Wolves created a lot of chances against City. On top of that, Bournemouth didn't look too shabby when they attacked at speed. We were all over the shop on their goal. We ended up with 7 men in our box, but they were nowhere near composed, in position. We were a mess. And as I said last night, Walker was trying to mark 2 men. It's absolutely bonkers. Rissi says we should have signed a striker after the Centurion. I don't agree with that, Rissi. I don't think we needed to, but I said I wanted a striker this summer. Robert Beard, I agree, Blue Chan. We should have had a striker in by now. I think by now we should have had somebody, Robert. We need to make a statement this year and win the league and don't want to rely on a 17-year-old. Absolutely. Still got Kelechi. I think the buyback clause is 50 million quid. I can't see it happening. Sonson Jack, City has signed a striker before the winning clause. Can't see it. What going on, Fox Williams? What going on, man? Yeah. I'm good to that Jesus and Aguero. The Utes, they'll have a chance. He can hold his own. There's different opportunities. But the thing is, Fox, for me, what options have we got? Our 2 options at the moment, false nine and a 17-year-old kid. That's not an option of a potential Champions League winner in a team fighting for all the trophies. I don't think we've got enough options. Robert Beard says it all when Suarez has just gone for 5.5 million. It was 4 million, and that's if targets are met. Even if it was average with the chances we create, we can get some goals from striker. Absolutely. Lucy, I think we have enough options to wait for Gabriel Jesus. What options do we have, Lucy? What striking options do we have? Can't think of anybody. Our squad is cursed for it. Well, I don't know, but things ain't going right for us. Not getting the rub of the green. Maxim, so are we actually getting Koundé, or will it turn into the Koulibaly transfer? Okay, we've done enough on injuries. Let's talk about these transfers. Okay, situation is, we know we've been after Koulibaly all summer long. We know De Laurentiis is a pain in the backside to deal with. And we've stuck in there, and it's not happened. Okay, it's no chance. Yash, the kid's not even doing anything up front on his Todd as it is in his normal position. Why are you sticking him up front? No. So we've been after Koulibaly. That's been stalled, and that's not been happening. So lots of names have been mentioned now. You can argue some of the names have been mentioned to try to flush Napoli out, trying to make them make a decision and lower the price. Some of them might have been genuine, but we've looked at so many. Carlos. We've looked at, apparently, Jimenez put a massive bid in for Jimenez. Massive bid. I don't believe that. I mean, Atletico could have just said that to keep the fans happy, to tell the fans, we're keeping a player that somebody else really wants, someone else is willing to pay a lot of money for, but we're keeping him here. Look, guys, we are doing it for you. Could easily be that. Then the Koundé thing come along, and the Koundé thing looked like it had some good legs. Certainly more legs than Jimenez. Certainly more legs than Carlos. Carlos, just to me, after talking to Matt, was just a horrible, horrible option. And if you watched the game last night between Bayern and Sevilla, you could argue it's even more of a horrible option, is Carlos. And so I'm doing this video with a football analyst who analyzes La Liga. Okay, that's his job. And so we're talking about Koundé, because obviously he's seen him play quite a lot this season. Obviously watching Sevilla games and everything else. So we're talking about him, and I get off that call and find out that Gabriel Jesus is injured. As well as that, we put a bid in for Diaz. So now the word on the street is we put in a 55 million euro bid for Koundé, which would mean Sevilla more than double their money. They paid 25 million for him last summer from got him from Bordeaux. And we put apparently the same bidding for Diaz. And obviously Ottoman is going the other way. Now, the Diaz, I don't know. Here's the thing. Has Diaz played at a high enough level? Do you think he has? Koundé has. You could argue, Porto or Sevilla. Sevilla won the Europa League. That's a decent level. Koundé's played up this season against Lautaro Martinez. He played up against Anthony Martial. He's played up against Robert Lewandowski. He's done all right. He's not done too bad in those games. So that's it looked interesting. Looked very interesting. And talking to a fellow who's the fellow who did the analysis for Sevilla, his name's Scott, and not that Scotty, Man City fan, but another Scott. So it all looks very positive. So now this Diaz is there. We can't get them both, surely. We can't get them both. And if we got them both, then you'd expect Stones to leave. So it looks like we've got two fingers in the pie, or a finger in two pies, and hope that one comes off. Because apparently Sevilla said no last week. So if they said no, we go down the Porto route and Diaz, and we'll see what they say. And maybe Sevilla say yeah. Maybe the kid Koundé pushes to leave because he wants the move. He's going to look, probably make a lot more money at City. Got more chance, you'd believe, in the Champions League than Sevilla. He's got a chance to work under Pep Guardiola. Still up there in the top managers in the world. Why not? Hassan Malik, the guys has done some juju on our squad, absolutely. Let's look at some of your comments. So that's how I feel about the defenders. I would like Koundé. Now I'm a Koundé man. Apparently Aguero's come back in a week or two. Bro, it's more. I think if he's coming back, it's to start training with the group. It's not to start playing games in the first team. No chance, bro. Torres is a potential striker? No. The kid hasn't even got a if Mahrez hadn't been injured, had COVID, would Torres have even started the first game? He didn't start the second. He's probably not going to start this weekend. It's got a long way to go, and then you're going to put him up in a really important position. Never going to happen. You're going to end up with Liam Delap before you get Torres down the middle. Lucy, I wouldn't play striker, just play midfielder, false nine. You can't for a month. If Gabriel Jesus isn't back for a month, are you going to play false nine for a month? I don't like that idea. I want to have some variety. If we're to compete in our competition, we need 3 strikers, says Robert. Look, we used to have 4. We had Tevez. We had one stage. Who did you have? Tevez, Aguero, Balotelli. Was Dzeko there, or was Dzeko at that time? We had 4 strikers, 4 proper strikers. Delapa started, says Faris. I can see it, man. I can see it this weekend. I mean, we're in a bit of turmoil. Do you go with the false 9, or do you go with the Liam Delap? I'm tempted to go with Liam Delap because you could argue it's like for like, but he's not the same as Gabby J. Is still incapable of playing down the middle. Yeah, LCFC boy, he can play down the middle, but it's not what you want. So you absolutely missed the roll up. No strikers. Hi GSJ. No Fox Williams. Torres. Torres is looking to get on the pitch at City right now. So I'm not going to have him down the middle. To be honest, who do you have down the middle? Torres or Liam Delap? Even though Liam's 17 years old, Torres is 20. Liam has a little bit more experience in England, and he scored a blinding goal. Who's got the most confidence? We need a centre-back as well. GSJ, until Gabby was injured, I think they were happy to go along with what they had. One foot of Nancy's agreed. Hassan Malik until he's in a City shirt. But obviously, if City are talking to Porto about Otamendi, then it's not much of a leap to talk about Diaz as well. This is a mess. Last season all over it, it's a mess. Hassan Malik, it is rushed. The Koundé hype train, Blue Chant. Well, the thing is, here's the thing. Most of the people who are on board the hype train of Koundé, if you'd asked them 2 weeks ago, who's this Jules Koundé, they would not have even known. All these people who suddenly come out of the woodwork to say, well, yeah, I've been watching all the La Liga games, I've been watching his games, I've been watching all the Europas and everything. Rubbish. Okay? Why do you think I've not said anything about Koundé for a week? I've not said a dicky bird about him because I don't know a dicky bird about him. And that's the truth. Speaking to sports journalists, I said, can you tell me something about this guy? And nobody would step forward. Maybe they don't want to talk to me. But actually, they said, I don't know enough about him. That's the truth. You need somebody who watches La Liga, not just Barcelona and Real Madrid, but a lot of La Liga. And that's why I've finally got this analyst, Scott, to come on and talk, who analyzes and watches La Liga. So he's a really good guy. It's a shame his internet wasn't great, but I'll edit it. We'll get a decent video out, guys. Please, if you can, support the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. And look at some of the videos we put out. I had a new guy, Salim, on today, talking about the women's football. He's another football analyst talking about women's football. Guys, give him a watch and a thumbs up if you can. He's a little bit, it's first time for this sort of thing. But according to other people, he knows his stuff. But he's a little bit nervous going on camera for the first time. But we'll get him into a pro within a few months. But yeah, if you can watch his video, help him out as he starts on his career as an analyst and helping people like me to make content. So hopefully the Scott interview will come out tomorrow. It could take me a while to edit it. That's my only issue. I don't think it's going to ruin our season, Faris, but it's going to heavily affect it. Our season won't get ruined just now. If we win the Champions League, we'll just say our season's ruined. I don't think so. So this time for our season, is the season going to be over? You can't win the league in a month, but you could lose it in the first month. We'll see. I think we've got to beat Leicester at the weekend. We can't afford to drop points against Leicester. We've got to beat Leicester and then look at a game at a time. Lucy, you want? Yeah, but City have just lost out on potentially £100 million in the space of just over a season. That's a lot of money, Lucy. It could go higher if there's more rebate to the TV companies this season, and there's no fans at games. City are over £100 million out of pocket. Who's paying for that? Someone has to. Hassan Malik looks a better defender, and he's got a lot more experience at high level. He is solid. Look, he's solid. He's played the time at, I said before, he's played the time at Bordeaux, 70 games. Okay, at Bordeaux in France, and 40 games in Sevilla in one season, winning the Europa League. That's pretty decent for me. He's only 21. He's only going to get better. Nabin, who would you pick among Koundé, Koulibaly, or Diaz? Oof. Nabin, to be honest, right at the start, I wanted Koulibaly because of his experience, because I thought we'd get 3, 4, 5 years of Koulibaly, his leadership and everything else, his pace and everything else. Now that looks like it's not going to happen. Apparently, we're not interested anymore because the prices, we can't come up with the numbers. Koundé, if I had a choice between Koundé and Diaz, I'd go for Koundé, simply because I think he's played at a higher level. If Diaz has been playing in Portugal, what's a higher level? Portugal or France or Spain? Europa League champions. Hassan, no need to get stressed. Being stressed isn't going to help, Hassan. It's not going to make any difference to what's going on. You just have to take it on the chin, man. Mr. Roll-Up have to get a new striker now, even if it's just a loan. It's an emergency which can't put up. I agree, Mr. Roll-Up. Unless Pep has decided that he's going to mix it between Liam Delap and mix it between the false nine. He's got to do that. Umar Abdurrahman, please, who are we going to buy in this transfer saga? Is getting crazy. Look, I said the other day on that, if you listen to that Bolt from the Blue podcast, I said, if we'd got Messi and Koulibaly, this would have been one of the best transfer windows ever for Man City that I can remember anyway. It would have been comfortably. Get Nathan Ake, some backup, good quality backup. Torres is an exciting winger. Messi and Koulibaly, it would have been one of the best. But, I think they thought both of them would get over the line. They haven't, for whatever reason. And, it's not going to be the worst. I mean, look, remember, we got Jack Rodwell one summer. You tell me what's worse. Excelsior, is Jesus injured? That's what I was reading. It'd be out for up to 1 month. Well, he's going to miss the game, Excelsior. So get Liam Delap. Guys, I'm going to go and check my fantasy football team and see if Liam Delap's there. Can I squeeze him, Liam Delap, into my team? I'll have him starting at the weekend. That's what I'm going to do. I'll tell my lad to do it as well. Or have I just, I've just got KDB for my lad. I don't think he'll want to give up his 4 points to get Liam Delap in his team. I said to him, why don't you get Foden? He's too expensive. Anyway, Liam Delap, put him in your fantasy team, guys. He's going to score a hat-trick. Typical City, everyone gets injured. Lucy Doozy going to have to overpay for a striker at this late stage. Any selling team will know City desperate. Yep, that's true, Lucy. Absolutely true. Who can you get? Because teams don't want to let the players go now. It's 2 weeks left of the transfer window. Who wants to let one of their better players go? In fact, it's not even 2 weeks. What, 11 days? 10 days? Haj. Any decent strikers? No. That's the truth. Who's going to be willing to let a player go at a good price? Unless someone's got a buyout clause, who's going to let someone go on the cheap? Who's not going to screw City? Nobody. Say we should have gone in for a bid for Lautaro Martinez if we liked him. 50 million. See what Inter do. Inter haven't got the brass. You can see Where are the big deals? Where are the big deals recently? Chelsea have had some big deals. Who else? Who are the big players that Real Madrid have bought? Who's the big players that Barcelona have bought? Barcelona can end up loaning players out and paying some at half their wages. Like the rumour is for Coutinho. You know, where's the move for Houssem Aouar? You know, you'd have thought teams would have put their business to bed by now. Why hasn't Houssem Aouar moved on? It's been, was it 5 weeks since the Champions League final? Houssem Aouar should have moved on by now. Ismail Benassa, a lot of talk about him. He's not moving on. Lautaro Martinez, Barcelona wanted him. Why haven't they got him before the La Liga season starts? So there's a money issue out there, guys. Blue Chen wants Cavani. No, Pep looks sad, Harry. Absolutely. Haaland ain't happening, Hassan. He might leave next year, but not this year. Excuse me. Haj is 1 year loan on Cavani. Was a free agent into Haj, so you won't need to loan him, isn't he? He hasn't moved anywhere, has he? Yet. Edison Cavani says you can do a job. Absolutely, Haj. I'm not going to argue with that. He'd get a decent number of goals. He's reasonable in the air. He's a bit taller than Sergio. Nabin, on your view, what may be the reason for so much injuries at the same time? It's due to a long season. It's a combination. We've always had injuries. Always had knee injuries. Mendy's had 2 knee injuries in the last 3 seasons. KDB's had a knee injury. Gundogan came to us with an injury. Everybody's had. There's been lots of injuries around at City. Yes, the late finish of last season and the early start of this season has to have had an impact. Has to. But obviously, Aguero was injured last season in the game against Burnley. So where the Garcia had the stitches, so that's not the same sort of thing. So who's still at? Bernardo Silva. He got injured on international duty, didn't he? Zinchenko's out. You know, 3 of them were COVID, so that's unlucky. And 4 were injuries, and 1 was already a long-term injury. So to me, it's more than likely it's unlucky. But who knows? You know, what do we really know? So we don't know what's going on. It's just speculation, Nabin, just guesswork. You know, I think part of it is being unlucky, definitely. But part of it has to be more than that. It has to be, because you just can't have this much bad luck all at once. And now Gabby J, I don't know why he's injured. I don't know if it's a knee injury as well. But Gabby J being out, that's like a kick in the teeth, you know, when we're already struggling or already on our knees. Hi Adam, hope you're well, buddy. So yeah, it's a tough old call, this, guys. What do we do? Do we go and get someone on loan? Do we push the boat out and go and get an expensive striker, and we'll have to pay through the nose unless they've got a release clause? So let me know, guys. How are we gonna sort this out? Or do we just go with a false 9 and Liam Delap? I'd be concerned with having just Liam Delap, guys. You know, he's just a kid, albeit a very good one, but he's still just a kid. Lucy, you just can't play the amount of games we've been involved. Absolutely, we play 60 games a season, Lucy, and that's because we don't get that far in the Champions League. Because we get that far in everything else. Season before, we played 61 games, and we got knocked out in the quarterfinals. If we got to the final of the Champions League, I think we'd have finished with 64 games. Is it? None, who's going to act like our striker? Well, I think it's going to be a mix of Liam Delap and a mix of false 9. Yeah, Adam, we've been talking about Ruben Diaz and Koundé. Apparently, we've got 55 million euro bids in for each player because Koundé's was not backed by Sevilla. So we've got him for Ruben Diaz apparently, and at 55 million quid. Guys, I think that's it for the show for today. We've done a half an hour. Mr. Boss, Foden for striker? Nah. I said next weekend. I reckon it will be next weekend simply because he's not ready this weekend. Are we going to risk him against Burnley? I don't think I see him starting against Burnley. And so you've got to remember Laporte's only been training for a week since he came out from the COVID-19 quarantine. So I think where we are, it's a real bummer. It's a real heavy bummer, guys, but we are where we are. I'll try and come on later, guys. I've got tons of stuff on. I'll just briefly tell you. Hopefully, so tomorrow I'll get this video out about Koundé with the analyst Scott. Long chat with him. Very, very good, interesting stuff. And then tonight I'm actually filming got 2 other interviews to film tonight, so that's going to be really busy. I've got the Leicester preview. I'm filming it for a Leicester channel. I think that's going out live, so I'll get a copy of that, stick it on our channel tomorrow. And so what else have we got? So yeah, you'll get plenty of content tomorrow. You get the Koundé content, you get the hope for the Leicester preview tomorrow, live stream as well tomorrow. And tonight I'll try and come on late and do a live stream. It just depends on timings, because I'm doing an interview, 2 interviews, so it just depends how long they last, open-ended. But guys, look after yourselves. Let me know in the comment section below, if we had to get a striker, who do you want? Let me know. And if you have, and the defenders we're currently strongly linked with, and that's Koundé and Ruben Dias, who do you want? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. You take care. Maybe see you later on this evening, guys. Take it easy.